Hi there folks, welcome back to my channel, and for this video I've decided to come back into East Renfrewshire for a wee wander. And for this video I'm actually back in the Leven Valley because I did previously get up here for some other videos. So that was for the video that I did down at the Loch Lebo Nature Reserve, which is down on the Low Road or Loch Lebo Road. And I did a video up at Pollock Glen up in Uplandmoor, which is actually just up the road a wee bit. In this video I'm in the village of Neilston. Even though it is kind of referred to as a village, it's kind of creeping more towards being a town now. It was definitely a lot smaller when I was a kid. And yeah, but it still has this kind of like village, kind of rural feel to it. And they still have their agricultural show every year, or when things get back to normal. And yeah, so it still has this kind of country village kind of feel about the place, which I do kind of quite like. So I'm just gonna grab my things, head on out and go for a wander. That is the Neilston Kirk, and even though it is a kind of post-Reformation church, it does sit on the site of an older chapel, a kind of medieval chapel. And apparently the window at the back dates from the original chapel itself, so go and try and find it. Yeah, going by the architecture, I would say that this church is Georgian. But there was a church on this site from the medieval period. So this is an old graveyard. So I think the first reference to Neilston was in 1163 with the founding charter for the Priory in Renfrew, which later moved to Paisley, of which the Paisley Abbey is the only surviving part. So it's 1163. There was a church on this site, because I think in the charter it says that it mentions that there'd be a church here. Yeah, so I've come round the back of the Kirk. The kind of kirkyard can extend right behind me. So I could actually see the window that I've come to see. So I'm just going to walk down through the graveyard a wee bit to let you see, I get a bit better view of the window itself, and let you see some of the countryside that surrounds the village itself. And yeah, and it is quite a kind of quaint wee it is a quaint wee churchyard. And it does have that kind of really old feel about it. And I don't know if you can see me behind it, just that there. I think that's actually the entrance to the crypt that's underneath the church itself. And I think that's where the Muir family were buried. And they were the ones who ended up owning Cowden Hall, which is just slightly further up. It's kind of at the other end of the village almost. So they end up having to kind of block it off, and the crypt no longer is used, but it's known that it's there. So I'm going to head down and let you see this window. So it's the Gothic style window that is just above the bit that I was showing you, where the entrance to the crypt was. That is said to be the only surviving window or section of the original church. Because if you actually look at the rest of the windows, they're all fairly kind of square or rectangular, and that pointed Gothic window does kind of stand out as being not really part of the rest of the building. It does stand out as being a bit different. So that's said to be from the original chapel that stood on this site. So that's been from the chapel that dated to the 12th century. So You can even see from here, you can look out towards some of the countryside. So I'm going to head back around and try and see the rest of the village. This is the centre of the village. The cross is just down there, so you can just make out the top of the tower for the Kirk. And that's the local chapel, St Thomas's. And I'm going to continue on up this way, because this is the road that takes you up towards Cowden Hall. Yeah, that's the main road up there, that's Uplomer Road. So I've just come down a wee side bit of Uplomer Road, and this is the bit that leads down to Cowden Hall. So there's some trees and this bit of raised ground over there. That's pretty much where I'm heading to. So it's kind of in the mid-ground. And that wee bit of ruin, that's the remains of the lint mill, which once served as the village. There's actually a lint mill terrace just up off the main road. It's named after this, obviously. Right, so it's the bit of land just behind me. The kind of trees on that kind of bit of ground up there. That's where Cowden Hall is. So as far as I know, near Cowden Hall, there is actually the remains of a hall, and which is Cowden Hall, two separate words. But then there's Cowden Hall House, which is Cowden Hall as in one word. And usually this bit of the village is just referred to as Cowden Hall because of both the hall and the house. I think the hall was 17th century, I think the house itself was 18th, and the house itself became the property of those who owned the old mill, which is down at the low road. So I'm going to go for a wander, let's see what's there. Yeah, there's a crow in the trees. Yeah, I've just come up the slope up towards Cowden Hall, and this will probably give you quite a good view. There's that kind of ridge just behind the white farmhouse. That is a Neilston pad. Yeah, it's a kind of ridge with the trees surrounding it. and it is locally just referred to as the pad. And it's actually quite a good walk up there. Been up there quite a few times myself. So I'll probably keep that for when the weather's better. We've got slightly longer days, because it's probably a good 2-hour walk to get to the pad and about a 2-hour walk back. So yeah, it's a good hike, and you do get some very good views from the top. Yeah, this is me just coming into the woodland at Cowden Hall. Yeah, I would recommend wearing sensible shoes and a pair of good boots, because it can get a bit soggy underfoot down here. So both the hall and the house are now in ruin. They've been in ruin for quite a while. From what I've read, the house itself, I think the Muir family stopped living there in 1910. So I think it sort of kind of went downhill from there. But it's kind of quite nice to kind of come for a wander in here. Well, that's me finished my walk around Neilston, and it's just kind of nice to be able to get out and get some fresh air and just to be out in the countryside a wee bit. And yeah, enjoy my little visit. I definitely kind of visit down memory lane as well. Do have a lot of kind of memories up here as a kid. And yeah, it's just with the weather getting warmer, kind of the days getting longer, it's definitely good to kind of get out and get some fresh air and just be outside for a wee bit, even if it is just getting out and doing it locally at the moment. But hopefully, fingers crossed, things will be starting to get better, and yeah, hopefully things will be going in the right direction soon. But again, it's just nice to get out and get some fresh air. So hopefully you all enjoyed seeing my visit to Neilston, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.